Right now, we're sending over 568,000 cold emails every single day across all of our clients. That's over 12 million emails per month. And I'm not just talking about spamming people. These are high converting campaigns that drove 42% of the revenue for our B2B as they went from $0 to $4 million in ARR in only 6 months. These campaigns generated $4.3 million in annual pipeline revenue for Fixer AI as they went from $0 to $10 million in annual recurring revenue in only 5 months. And these campaigns can get as high as consistently spitting out 20 to 30% positive reply rates across many of our clients. And you see, what most people think cold email, they think it's dead, but the truth is they're just doing it wrong. And so in this video, I'm gonna break down our exact system for sending hundreds of thousands of cold emails per day with industry-leading enterprise-grade deliverability and the best conversion rates in the world. So let's dive in. Deliverability first, offer second. It's one of my mottos, and this is probably the most important concept in cold email. Most people obsess over their copy only to get 0 replies because their emails are never getting delivered in the first place. And the truth is, even with the world's best copy, it's worthless if it lands into spam. And even then, you can't even evaluate how good your copy is if nobody's reading it. So your data means nothing. And so we focus on deliverability first, offer second. We take care of the first thing for our clients and we equip them with as much data as possible so they can get really good at the second thing and have the best offers in the world. And so in order to make cold email work, you need to take care of deliverability and have the right offer that people actually want. This is a yin-yang relationship that is the foundation for everything else. So when we solve deliverability first, we know your message is getting out there. Then if we're not getting results, we know that it's the offer or the message. And we can change that, right? A founder can change what their offer is to the marketplace based on what feedback they're getting for that. And so, for example, we have a SaaS client named Apply AI that we thought had a cracked offer right off the rip. We launched some new campaigns for them and we were blown away that they were getting 0 positive replies. And then sure enough, we looked at the data and we looked at the bounce logs and we found out that AI is a spam word, capital A, capital I. But capital A, lowercase I is not a spam word. We made that tweak. One letter, made one tweak, and immediately the next day got 5 positive replies for them. That's deliverability first, offer second. And if you don't have good deliverability, then we can't even evaluate that offer. By the way, if at any point in this video you want to see how we can help you set up this entire system, just click the link in the description to book an intro call with us. We'll map out your entire TAM, your entire total addressable market, and show you exactly how we can reach 100% of your market every 30 to 60 days, as well as the results that you can expect. Next, building infrastructure the right way. So the mistake that most people make is they go very minimal with their infrastructure. They use one sequencer, they maybe use one domain, which is even scarier, or they just use one inbox provider. And the moment something breaks, everything stops. It's like building a house on sand. It collapses the moment that you go to scale. And here's how we build infrastructure that can send millions of emails, right? We run 3 sets of infrastructure for every single client. We label them odd, even, and burner. Each set is completely independent and can handle the full sending volume. And each one of those sets are diversified between Gmail, Outlook, and custom SMTPs. On the first half of the month, we use our odd inboxes for outbound campaigns. In the second half of the month, we use the even boxes. And when they aren't actively on campaigns, they're just warming up. And you do that long term and domains just don't burn. And if they do burn, the burner set is always warmed up and it's ready to be dispatched as an emergency backup. You see, why this matters is we aren't perfect. And I immediately nuked hundreds of domains on a single day for Adam Robinson, and it's not fun, right? 3 months ago, Adam Robinson's B2B infrastructure went to 0, and we had backups ready to rotate in immediately. We rebuilt 375 domains. The burner set kept his campaigns running. Without the system, we're 1 bad week away from losing everything. We have 1-2 bad weeks, and clients are thinking about issuing notice and like, oh, am I really getting out of this? And so we can't afford to have any downtime. And so a little bit more about how we set this up. We also like to diversify our sequencers. My favorites are Instantly, Smart Lead, and SaaSmail. SaaSmail is a private in-house sequencer that we have. It's technically Email Bison, which is rad, with some of our own proprietary stuff built on top of it, right? And that's because each one has different strengths for different inbox types. And, you know, we have the data to prove this. We did the largest public deliverability test earlier this year. And the thing is, they each have their strengths, right? Instantly is absolutely the best at actually sequencing. They're just really good. You load everything in a campaign and they maximize how many emails can go out, which is just clutch for high high volume, right? So for us, we can manage, 300,000 emails per day for a single client and have over 120 campaigns loaded, and it smashes through them, which is stellar, right? SaaS mail has incredible deliverability, especially for enterprise targeting. And so for some of our clients, we use just SaaS mail and we build specific infrastructure for their enterprise grade lists. So we can get a 4x multiple on our deliverability because it delivers 4 times better. It's also 21 times more expensive when we do that particular configuration. And then lastly, SmartLead crushes it with Outlook inboxes when configured correctly. And so the next thing is you want to match inbox type to inbox type. This is one of our secret weapons that can give us 3, sometimes 16 times better reply rates. So if you're emailing someone on Gmail, I suggest using Gmail plus SaaS mail or Outlook and SmartLead. If the lead is on Outlook, we use Outlook inboxes from scaled mail and we load those onto SaaS mail. And if they're an enterprise lead, enterprise meaning they have Proofpoint, Spamhaus, Mimecast, things like that, we use Gmail inboxes loaded on SaaS mail as well. And just this one tactic can take you from a 1% reply rate to 4% reply rate overnight. And so coming into our next strategy, our TAM coverage strategy, this is where we're completely different from everyone else. Most businesses or agencies doing cold email focus on the 3% of the marketplace that's ready to buy. And they're trying to predict who that 3% is using intent signals or fancy triggers or things like that. And the problem is that everybody is trying to hammer those people. I like to focus on the other 97%. It's a bigger number. And so here's my strategy. Let's just send one email to your total addressable market every 30 to 60 days. That's it. No complex sequences, no daily follow-ups. And the reason that this works well is that you're not going to annoy everybody in your market by sending them 7 emails in 14 days. You're not burning through your list before you can even find product market fit. And when you do nail in your offer, you can scale to cover 100% of your total addressable market, which we like to hit that every 30 to 60 days. And with that strategy, I know that for clients with massive TAMs, we've sent 8.5 million emails per month for just a single client. I know I could 5x that number with the right client if they had a large enough TAM, right? Even for Fixer, their total addressable market was everybody who used Gmail and used Outlook. That's over 100 million people. So when we were sending 8.5 million emails a month, we were getting pressure to be like, yo, how do you get that to 50? Another example, right, is Adam Robinson's TAM for our B2B is in the millions. It's B2B SaaS founders, it's marketers, it's salespeople, it's anybody who owns a business. It could be any founder in the world. I remember telling my wife, who runs a holistic practice, about our B2B, and she was like, wow, I could install that on my website. And I'm like, that is so insane. And so they have a massive TAM. And we like to email their entire total addressable market every 60 days with one simple message. And what's crazy about that is we're still getting the same conversion rates now when our B2B is at $6.5 million in annual reoccurring revenue that we had when they were only at 1 million ARR. And that's because we're not burning the list, which is huge. The next thing is we write copy that actually converts. And here's the thing, this one's very different for most people, but forget everything you've been told about personalization. Most people think they need to use AI to write custom lines for every single prospect or try to get super creative and clever with their copy. The truth is, for me, short and punchy and direct has beat fancy 99% of the time. And the secret is to just write emails people actually want to read. Don't write marketing emails, right? Like you're DMing a friend. Like I've always liked this story, the difference between sales copy and marketing copy. Marketing copy is like, hey Joe, we have this insane event. It's going to be one of the most insane dinners you have ever been to your entire life. Your wife is going to remember it. Your kids are going to remember it. We just cannot wait to have you there and blah, blah, blah. Sales is, yo, what's up, Joe? We're going to have some bomb ass pizza tonight. Do you want to come? Right? And I'm very much more of the sales when it comes to copy. So lead with the most valuable thing you can offer. Remove all friction from the next step that they need to take. And for the love of God, do not include links in the first email. Here's what most people write. Hey Joe, I exist. So do you. So can I please take your time? Or even worse, with the power of AI, hey Joe, I found out you exist because you blah, blah, blah. You commented on a post, or I saw you run ads, or I was on your website and noticed blah, blah, blah. It's the same message with AI slop on the front of it. And everyone reading it knows that it is. No one thinks that that email was written by a human being. And at the end of the day, only one thing matters. What is your offer and how can you clearly articulate it? For example, here's our copy framework for our B2B that gets them 20 to 30% positive replies every single month. Hey Joe, we built a tool. We'll let you know when, and we insert their ICP here using AI. We'll let you know when your ICP is on your website. So if you're emailing a realtor, you go, hey, we built a tool that will let you know when local Bozeman residents are on your website, or whatever. You can insert exactly who they sell to there. So, and then we explain the value. It identifies anonymous individuals, not companies, and sends their LinkedIn profiles to Slack in real time. It's completely free. And then we end with reply back yes if you would like me to send you the link to sign up. PS, no, I'm not joking. It identifies individual people, not companies, and we will never charge you a dime. That's it. No links in the first email, no fake personalization, just a clear offer. Here's why I think this works. One, it's conversational. I like to think it's how a human would actually write. In fact, we analyzed all of that founder's, all of Adam's posts to make this verbiage match exactly how he talks. And so the offer is crystal clear and the value is obvious while also sounding just like Adam. There's also no friction. They just reply with yes and they get the thing to get started, right? The other thing is that we're targeting the right people. So the message actually resonates. You see, but there are always exceptions to the rules. So we test everything. What do I mean by that? So for one of our clients, Fixer AI, we tested a little bit more of my short and punchy copy versus their storytelling. One of my favorite things to do with a founder when we onboard them is like, how would you write this email? And this is especially good for ones that know how to do copywriting. But here's what Fixer AI wrote. They wrote just a slightly longer and more personal version. So they said, hey, me and my brother just launched a tool that sits inside of your inbox. It works right with Gmail or Outlook. It's truly amazing for most people and saves them an hour a day. It'll label your emails, draft replies, and attend your meetings. So it's better at drafting those replies. Would you like to give it a try? Just reply with yes. So there's obviously some things there that are from our short and punchy, but I would never say it's truly amazing for most people, right? But that's how they talk. And so that is what made it so it absolutely crushed. And we tested that across probably 60 different variants, and that was the one that always won. And I think the real trick here was having that founder write the email and the fact that they had copywriting backgrounds just like Adam. And so the core lesson here is test everything, but let the marketplace tell you what works. All right, so how to scale to millions of emails. You can't just flip a switch and send a million emails tomorrow. Even with perfect infrastructure, you need a systematic testing and scaling process in place. And that's where most campaigns completely fall apart when they try to scale. So here is the exact process we like to follow. So phase one, broad testing can take 1 to 3 months. And the thing is that month one is usually terrible. We're testing 15 to 30 different campaigns. I was looking at one just earlier today for what we did with Fixer. And in their original batch, we had 26 campaigns. And one of the campaigns, we had to send 25,000 emails in order to get one positive reply. That's horrible. And you have a bunch of campaigns like that, but also what you have is you have campaigns in there that only take 1,500 emails, 1,000 emails. We were able to get them down to 600 emails in order to get someone to sign up for their platform, which is great. And so you got to test a lot of trash. And so it's really going to be diluted. And what you're really looking for is the outliers, the fires is where I like to call them. And so, we're trying different offers, different copy angles, different audience segments, and most of the campaigns will not work. But we're hoping that a couple of them will. That's really what we're looking for. And sometimes it can be difficult that we need a full 3 months to truly test every angle we possibly could. Phase two, finding message market fit. Ideally, by month 2, month 3, month 4, we can kill all the bad campaigns and double down just on what's working. We're looking for these hotspots, right? Which industries, which seniorities, which copy is converting the best. And the important thing here is we pipe a live stream of data into our leaderboards so we know we're optimizing for real conversions, not just replies. And what that means is we ask all of our clients, hey, let us know everyone who signs up. Let us know everyone who books a meeting with you. Let us know everyone who becomes a paying customer, because we can match that with our email sent long ago. Cool. We sent them an email. They signed up on this day. A lot of people don't even reply to our emails. They just sign up directly, and we can see that because of this. And we're able to directly go, cool, this variant of this campaign is what is driving our actual results for the client, what's actually driving revenue for them. And, for Fixer AI, it took 5 months before we found that variant that was 600 to 1. And sometimes it can just take that time. And so phase 3 is we scale the winners. Typically, once we find a campaign converting at 1,500 to 500 emails per sign up or per result that we're aiming for, we scale that everywhere. there. We layer on lookalike audience built on from those particular lists to see if we can further stretch that total addressable market list that we have for that segment. And then additionally, we also will segment by 10 to 11 industries and 10 to 11 seniorities for maximum precision. And then what we like to do is hit the entire total addressable market with that winning formula every 30 to 60 days. And a good example of this is that we did that process with Fixer, and eventually we found out that, like, cool, if we email a founder of a particular industry and who has a Gmail inbox and this employee headcount, we know that we'll send 600 emails and we'll convert one person into a sign up for them. And that list of people who fit that criteria was 302,000 people. And so we set aside that list. We said, great, we're going to email each one of these people once a month with that offer. And we just set it to the side, and that campaign just runs on autopilot. And then meanwhile, we're still testing everything else, trying to figure out the other pillars that we're trying to set up. And so there are obviously a few examples where sending millions of emails doesn't always make sense for some obvious reasons. One, you don't even have a total addressable market, more than 1 million potential contacts. And that's okay. If you have a high LTV and you have a really good sales process, we still work incredibly well with companies like that. You can just see what we've done. For example, Directive is one of the world's largest marketing agencies, and they sell services that have an LTV over 6 digits, and their total addressable market is less than $1 million. Just last quarter, we generated over $484,000 in annual recurring revenue for them. And they have a pure sales process, right? And so we know how to print for those as well if they have a good offer. So then you might be asking, okay, well, what if I do have a TAM larger than $1 million? You need to have a product that can handle that level of scaling, right? If you can only onboard 50 users a month, then we can't email 1 million people for you. And that's okay. When we're in that testing phase for a client, before we actually go to 1 million, we work really deeply with each client to be like, hey, does the economics on the front of the pipeline to the end of the pipeline work perfectly? Like, are they actually converting into paid events for you? Is this profitable for you? Is it profitable for us? We'll usually scale from there. So for example, we sent 11,996,408 emails in 90 days while we were testing 2,749 different variants when we were still deep into their testing phase. And when we were looking at that, we started at a 7,317 emails to get a single positive reply, which was terrible, right? After testing, we were able to get down to about 520 emails per sign up. That's a 45 times lift just from finding the right combination of offer, copy, and targeting. And so with 800,000 person TAM in that segment alone, that's a potential 1,481 users if we emailed them that week. But if we do it over a month, it's 1,481 users a month. The next thing is continuous deliverability testing. And so when it comes to deliverability, what works today will probably not work in 3 months. And email providers are constantly updating their filters. AI is a pattern matching successful copy, and it will nuke it after it gets enough volume. I mean, we've seen campaigns that printed money for 1.5 years straight suddenly die overnight because an AI spam filter starts making decisions. And so that is why we test continually, constantly. And so every quarter we run massive deliverability experiments. Our largest test that we just finished up, we sent 249,847 emails across 120 campaigns, 3 different sequencers, 3 different vendors, 4 different warm-up networks. I mean, we spent over 64 grand of our own money, my own money, to figure out what's working right now. Just 2 weeks ago, I had an event where 49.28% of all of my Gmail inboxes suddenly died. And I had to drop tens of thousands of dollars on brand new domains. The thing here, the big takeaway is the best practices everybody preaches don't just work across the board. You need to test your specific setup with your target audience to find what actually moves the needle. And you need to be ready to adapt and change your whole system very fast. If you're planning on sending more than 75,000 emails per month, just expect your copy to die every 3 to 6 months, and that's just part of the process, and that's okay. And really, I think what you need is you need partners who are constantly testing at a massive scale, and the alternative is just watching your results slowly decay and not knowing why, because this is one of the few things that I just don't see any way for a company to like bring this in-house. You need somebody who has specialization, who has data at scale to be able to figure these things out for you. Now, you might be thinking, there's no way I can do all of this myself. And I think you're right. You need to invest hundreds of thousands of dollars in infrastructure testing alone. You need to manage relationships with multiple sequencers, inbox providers, and constantly replace burned domains. And you'll need a team dedicated to monitoring deliverability 24/7 and pivoting when filters change and buying tens of thousands of domains. And you need to run tests at scale of millions of emails per month to get statistically significant data. That's exactly why companies like RB2B, Fixer AI, and others partner partner with us instead of trying to build this in-house. We spent years and literally hundreds of thousands of dollars perfecting our system, so they didn't have to. So if you want to start printing cash with cold email using our exact strategy and our playbooks, book your free intro call with us in the first link in the description. We'll map your TAM, we'll set up a multi-domain infrastructure to optimize deliverability, we'll rapidly test to find your winning message, and then scale it to 100% of your market. So again, book your call below. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next video. Peace.